some sanity back in our world. It's too woke. It's too crazy right now.
We are halfway through 2024 and MAGA still has no clue what woke actually means.
What do you mean by wokeness?
People that...
If you have to think this hard about the meaning of a word, you probably shouldn't be using it.
Okay. People that are like saying things that don't make a lot of sense, that
Based on her definition of woke, she'd be a full-blown communist in the eyes of the right, which speaks to her sheer absurdity of the manufactured panic about wokeness that has infected not just her, but all facets of our society.
Woke is when there's too much fakeness in the news. It's just not accurate.
Nope, not even close. But what else could we expect out of someone who still thinks Trump won the 2020 election and still can't even get her talking point right about that lie?
This is an ideology that I call the woke army. It is an ideology of activists who are going through America's school districts and our communities, and what they are doing is a threat to democracy.
If the Supreme Court wasn't actively and legally undermining democracy in front of our eyes, then this would be an even more laughable claim. But the sad truth is that regardless of how ridiculous these people sound...
Right? M&M's, the candy we all grew up eating. Well, they released their brand new character in over a decade, and the brand new character is Purple M&M, which is supposed to represent inclusivity and acceptance. I think it's a female character, but I'm pretty sure they haven't said. Maybe it's transgender.
Okay, the level of reduction is infinitesimal, but they're trying to recruit your kids into climate politics at an earlier age. Make them climate conscious now.
Yeah, I didn't think of that. You're right. They're going after the children.
Of course they are.
I'm going through my kitchen, I'm going through my refrigerator, and I'm starting to ask the question, well, is this ketchup bottle woke? Is this mustard? I mean, literally, we're at the place now where we have to go through, is the company that makes this?
I don't know. I can't read their minds. It could be the beard. I don't know. But Bill Maher talking about this, it's not so much about Elon Musk. There's evidence that we're turning a corner on wokeism, which is scary because the left always comes up with something worse. But because wokeism is so absurd, their most persuasive critics are progressives. People on the left, actually, are the people that everybody's believing because they're going, wow, these guys are destroying us. It's like when you're a conservative, you come out against white nationalism. And this is kind of the mirror image. Wokeism is like that. In fact, I would argue that wokeism is every bit as racist as white nationalism.
There will always be enough gullible people out there that will believe and spread this nonsense. And Fox News, other right-wing media outlets, and most importantly politicians know this fact all too well and have used it to their advantage.
Woke, fellas, okay? You don't want a woke... You don't want a woke. I don't think he wants a woke military. It's not going to go woke. They would like to have it woke, but we're not going to let that happen. But now we have death and destruction all over the planet.
So yes, we fight the woke in the legislature, but we also fight the woke in the schools. We fight the woke in the bureaucracy, and we fight the woke in corporate America. Our bottom line is we do not surrender to the woke mob. Florida's where woke goes to die. And yes, you do have to fight the woke in the halls of government and in legislative chambers.
Ron DeSantis may be the best example of how to ride the anti-woke wave into a profound position of power. However, once voters realized he had the personality of a wet napkin, being an anti-woke crusader wasn't enough to propel him to the presidency, especially when Donald Trump hits the same high notes.
Do you think that General Patton was woke? I don't think so. What do you think, Mike? Mike, was he woke? I don't think so. I don't think he was too woke. He was the exact opposite. You know what woke means? It means you're a loser. Everything woke. Everything woke. It's true. Everything woke turns to okay? It's true. It's true.
And is supported by his sycophants in Congress.
No need for the Department of Education. Red states and blue states would be in control of the education in each state. Red states would very likely have traditional education, homeschooling, charter schools, private schools, technical schools. They would not allow any type of gender lies being taught in their schools. LGBTQ woke teachers would be fired and not allowed to teach there.
Thank you, Mr. Chair. I rise today to offer my amendment that prevents USDA from using funds for woke extreme leftist courses, books, and study guides. As part of this administration's woke LGBTQI plus whatever other letter you'd like to add for the flavor of the day, Pride Month agenda, Biden's rogue bureaucrats implemented woke courses, books, and study guides for department employees, training that defy congressional intent and mandate leftist indoctrination. Today's hearing will help us better understand what Congress can do to ensure that activist stakeholders will not encourage woke corporate activism, as we have seen recently with Anheuser-Busch, Disney, and even Nike. Because as we all know around here, when you go woke, you go broke.
Ah, yes, Disney, Anheuser-Busch, and Nike all suffered tremendous financial troubles because they tried to sell their products cynically, may we add, to as diverse of an audience as possible. Corporate wokeism, as Boebert describes it, is just a business calculation made by these companies to increase revenue. Otherwise, they would have no vested interest in appearing woke again, using her own words.
And I don't like the term woke because I hear woke. It's like just a term that half the people can't even define it. They don't know what it is.
Maybe the former president's fans should actually take this advice to heart, given what we've seen.
Where do you stand on wokeism, as it were?
I don't even know what woke is.
What does woke mean to you? What does that saying mean, woke or broke?
Well, I think when you say you go woke, I just feel like, I hate to say it this way, but I feel like there's a bunch of pansies out there that, you're woke. It's like, let each person live, do your thing, but don't push your shit on me. Don't push things back, on other people. Just, like I said, live and let live. And you start doing that, and companies, you have a brand, just sell a product, make people happy, stay out of it. I guess that's kind of how I feel about it.
What does woke mean?
It means you're an idiot. I mean, that's what it is.
Absolutely. So if anybody's an idiot, they're woke.
If you don't know whether you're a male or female, then I'm sorry, there's an issue. All right? I'm not going to call someone that's clearly a man, a woman, because it makes them feel better. They can do whatever they want, they can think whatever they want, but they're not going to bring me into their fantasies.
What does woke mean?
Woke means, to me, it's like policies in the schools and companies that are forcing people basically to just go along with the tide. When a lot of people don't even want it, but they're just doing it because they don't want to fight.
So like LGBTQ rights, is that forcing people to?
Not rights. I mean, like I said, everybody should have rights, but it's really being forced upon children in schools, like the things that are being taught to them, like they're having parents don't have rights anymore. The rights of parents are being diminished, and the rights of the government and the school system are being expanded. And so our kids are in danger.
When you picture someone woke, usually the blue, green-haired leftist spitting in your face or just trying to talk to them, they get all crazy and riled up for no reason,
We need to get back to the way things used to be.
When? I mean, I'm just asking for specifics. Like, what is it that is what people are trying to sell, and what is what it used to be?
Well, pushing this woke agenda, that's a big issue. That's a made-up mindset. To me, it's like it's a mental issue, but that needs to go away.